Hey folks, Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Monday, October 28th. Been on the water pretty much every day. Missed a couple of days because of weather this past week. But other than that, pretty much been on the water every day. Got some decent bites shaping up. Bite has gotten better. I'm down at the dam today and we had about, 17, 18 fish in 4 hours. With about 5 or 6 keepers, so not bad. So the bite is starting to turn around a little bit for us, getting a little bit better. As far as our lake level is concerned, we are at 917.7 right now, which puts us 7/10 above normal pool for this time of year. The Corps does have a couple of generators running and I think 4 or 5 gates open at 1 foot. Trying to drop the lake. We did get quite a bit of rain this past week and they are calling for more rain over the next few days, as much as another couple of inches of rain over the next couple of days. So Corey is trying to fight that, get the lake back down to normal pool, and then by December 1st it's supposed to be done at 9:15. So they got a little bit of work to do. So we are going to have current, just like we've had all year. We're going to have current for the rest of this year, it looks like. As far as water temperature, we're still down here by the dam. We're at 65. I was up around Baxter yesterday and it was about 64, 65, even saw 66. I know up the James it's a little bit warmer. If you have a sunny day, it's been a little bit cooler first thing in the morning, around 62 or 63, but it warms up pretty quick if you get sun. And same with up the White River in the mid lake. It's all in that mid 60s right now, so we really haven't dropped that much in water temperature. But if we do get this cold weather they've got calling, they're calling for a potential for freezing rain on Thursday morning and some cold rain the next couple of days. If that happens, I'm sure it's going to drop that water temperature a little bit as well. But anyway, if you guys are coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, a couple of good bites going on down here. Really, a couple of pretty solid bites going. I keep telling you guys to leave a topwater on your deck. I'm about ready to tell you to put it away because they have not been eating a topwater very good at all the last week or so. I don't even think we had a blow up on it yesterday. We had one blow up on it today, and that was really about it. But any day now, once these shads start moving back, we will start to see these fish. Water cools down a little bit, see these fish chasing shad a little bit more. So keep your spook, your Sammy, your whopper plopper handy. Best couple of bites we've got going down here right now. Number one is on the Jewel Pee Wee football jig, catching a lot of fish on that. On both Hail Mary and Touchdown are the 2 colors I'm catching them on. Been using a couple of different trailers for it. I've been using the Speed Craw quite a bit and cutting the last 2 tail sections off to shorten it up. Or I've been using the Z-Man Ned Craw. That bait really looks good on there and we have been catching a few fish on that. Holds up a lot better than the Speed Craw. The only real thing I don't like about it is you can't dye the pinchers. California Craw has been my best color on that, and then Watermelon Candy on the Speed Craw has been the best color. Most of these fish, we're catching a lot of them early in the day, first hour, maybe 2 hours. You get a cloudy day like we got today and they'll bite it for a little bit longer. But most of the fish have been in the first couple hours of the day up fairly shallow, usually between 8 and about 15 foot deep on the gravel mixed with rock points that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. So that's been a good bite down here. Another good bite down here has been on a drop shot. We're catching them on a drop shot again. Seems like the Kentuckys have really started to move out on these gravel runouts. Most of them we caught today were on a drop shot. Most of them were in, I'd say 28 to about 35 feet deep, with the bulk of them being right around 30 feet deep. So they haven't really moved shallow, but they're still out there. You'll see them on your graph on those gravel runouts. And it was really kind of cool this morning. First one we hooked up with, the whole bottom exploded and we caught like 3 or 4 in a row, just boom, boom, boom. So they are starting to group up a little bit out on those gravel points. Keep that in mind. Go up into the Kimberling City area, same bites are working. Keep a topwater handy. It's one of these days it's going to break loose. I don't know when it's going to be, but keep your spook, your Sammy, your whopper plopper, all those handy. Keep those around because they will eventually break loose on that. The Pee Wee football jig, Jules Pee Wee football jig, has been working in that area as well. It's just a perfect size bait. If you guys haven't seen it, it's got a great little hook in it and it's a perfect size bait. It's about the size of the crawdads that they're feeding on right now, so that's why it's been really good Throwing it again on gravel mixed with rock, a little bit shallower early. That's 8 to about 12, even up to about 15 foot deep early as the sun comes up, or if you get a cloudy day, they'll stay up. But if the sun comes up, back out a little bit more, all the way out to about 20 feet. And again, I'm using Hail Mary and Touchdown on my two best colors, matched up with either the Z-Man TRD craw or cutting a speed craw down a little bit. Catching them on a drop shot up there as well. Shad-shaped cut tail, UV drop shot worm. Those fish up there we caught both on gravel runouts and we caught them in trees yesterday. So kind of keep that in mind. They're all around that same depth, around that 30-foot depth, whether they're on those gravel runouts or in those trees. But we are catching them on a drop shot up there too. And did catch a few on a pro spider jig up there last week, around boat docks and on some of the steeper, a little bit steeper banks, a little bit more rock mixed in. Those fish were more largemouth than the smallmouth and Kentuckies we've been catching on the Pee Wee football jig, but not a lot of bites. But we did catch some better quality up there, throwing the 5/16 pro spider jig and Okeechobee blue and bass whacker matched up with a speed craw. Go up into the James. The James has got good color. We've had the water's come up. We've had a lot of water come in the lake, so the James has got really good color. There is a little bit of debris up there, so be careful. There's a few logs. It's not like it is in the spring where you've got a bunch of 20 and 30-foot logs, but there's some stuff you got to pay attention and be careful, especially if you're running first thing in the morning when there's no wind, because they're right below the surface. But be careful if you're running up there. It does have good color. Water temperature's good. Went up there late last week, caught a few on a spinnerbait up there, throwing the new Jewel Gem blade. I've been throwing the Pro Blue's been my best color up there, and basically paralleling, keeping the boat out about 7 or 8 foot deep on some deeper banks, making a long cast and basically paralleling those rocks. There's quite a few fish up there doing that. You can catch a few on a square bill doing that as well, like an RC 1.5 or 2.5, or you can catch them on a jig doing that. But if you don't have any wind, the days I caught them on the crankbait and the days we caught them on the gem blade, there was some wind. If you don't have any wind, just kind of back off and pitch a jig up there. There are some better quality fish up on that steeper rock up there. Catching them on the Pee Wee football jig as well up there. Most of those fish are coming on gravel mixed with rock points. A lot of those fish are coming on the Hail Mary or the Touchdown. And those fish tend to stay a little bit shallower because the water's dirty. They're as shallow as 4 or 5 feet early, and they really don't back out much more than about 12 or 15 foot deep. So keep that in mind if you're going to fish up the James this week. Go up into the White River, and like I said, fished the White River yesterday. We had a pretty good day. We desperately tried to catch them on topwater. Probably spent too much time throwing to topwater yesterday. I don't think we had a single blow up on it. Switched over to a jig, started throwing the Pee Wee football jig, caught a few on that, on both Hail Mary and Touchdown. Threw a spider jig, 5/16, had a couple of nice smallmouth on a 5/16 spider jig. It was in bass whacker with a speed craw as a trailer. All those jig fish are coming on gravel mixed with rocks. Some of them as shallow as about 3 or 4 feet deep, but for the most part they're in that 10 to about 20 foot range. That bite does slow down though. Once the sun came up, we struggled. We fished and fished and fished, kept trying to catch more on a jig. We get a couple of little bites, but nothing that would commit. And then switched from that and went to a drop shot rig, using the shad shape and using the cut tail on gravel runouts and in trees. All these fish yesterday were in that 30 to 35 foot range, whether they were on a gravel runout or they were in a tree. It didn't seem to matter. They weren't really killing it, but we did catch several. We had some nicer Kentuckies doing it, and a lot of good fish out there on some of those trees. And it seemed like if we could find 1 or 2 that would bite, you could work an entire group of trees and catch several fish out of that group of trees. But if you were struggling to even get the fish to come up and react to the bait, you're better off just leaving and going to another spot and seeing if you can get bit. But definitely caught quite a few on a drop shot yesterday as well. Guys, we're at the end of October. Trees are finally changing. It's starting to look and feel like fall. It was a little chilly over the weekend. Actually, didn't fish Saturday because it was kind of cold, rainy, and wet, and Friday wasn't much better. Friday actually wasn't bad. Thursday was kind of miserable. But fish are moving. I mean, we're still a little bit behind schedule, but I'm thinking November is going to be really good. Do have some open dates in November if you guys are coming down for Christmas in Branson or whatever. or if you want to learn how to do some stuff. The guys I took out yesterday, his father and son, and they've got a lake home. They can catch it. They can catch a few fish, but they're like, we need to learn how to do some different stuff. Showed them how to drop shot, and they absolutely dug it. Caught a lot of fish. Showed them how to throw a jig. Caught some on a jig. But guys, if there's a technique you want to learn, football jig, drop shot, spoon, that's going to be coming up. Damiki rig, all this stuff will be coming up here in the next month or so. If you're thinking about hiring a guide, you want to go on a guide trip, maybe you want to just go out and learn how to run your electronics, that's fine. Whatever it may be, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743 or hit my website, focusfishing.com, and either shoot me an email, book online, however you want to do it. Get a hold of me. We'll go out. We'll catch some fish, have a good time. Guys, thanks for watching the videos. If you have a minute and you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Do appreciate that. But guys, thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.